Welcome back to Changfied YouTube channel, your trusted source for latest update across South Sudan. Today, July 15, 2026, we have two very important stories. But first, let's look at the first story. Gadwi Lampoch asked court to dismiss the case against him. The legal case connected to the March 2025 violence in Nazar continued in Juba on Wednesday. During the 96th session of the trial, Gadwi Lampoch presented his defense before the special court. Gadwi Lam is a member of South Sudan National Parliament representing Nasser County. He is standing trial alongside suspended first Vice President Dr. Machar and several other defendants. During his defense, Gadwi Lampoch asked the judge to dismiss the criminal case against him. His main argument was simple. He stated that the prosecution had failed to provide enough evidence connecting him personally to the crime he is accused of committing. In a criminal case, prosecutors are expected to present evidence showing that there is a legal basis for the charges against an accused person. Gadwi Lampoch's defense argued that this standard had not been met in his case. He asked the court to find that the prosecution had failed to establish a sufficient case against him. According to this report, Gadwi Lam also raised the issue of parliamentary immunity. As a member of parliament, he argued that a statement connected to the case should be protected by the immunity given to lawmakers. He therefore asked the special court to dismiss the complaint against him and recognize what he described as his legal protection as a member of parliament. But one of the most important part of his defense concerned digital evidence. Prosecutors have reportedly presented digital material that they say come from Gadwi Lam mobile phone. These material allegedly include WhatsApp messages, videos, picture, and audio recording. However, Gadwi Lampoch denied creating or sending the material attributed to him. He also challenged the way the evidence was collected, handled, and examined. According to Gadwi Lampoch, his mobile phone was taken from him when he was arrested. He said the phone then remained in the custody of National Security Service until it was later presented before the court. This is important because Gadwi Lam defense is questioning what happened to the device during their time it was outside his control. Gadwi Lam told the court that his password was obtained from him by force. He stated that a National Security Service officer obtained the password and that the same officer later appeared before the court as a protected witness. Well, based on this argument, Gadwi Lam questioned whether the digital information presented by the prosecution could be trusted. His position is that he cannot accept responsibility for digital material found on a phone that had been outside his control. It therefore asked the court to carefully examine the history of the phone from the time of his arrest until the time it was presented as evidence. This issue could become an important part of a legal argument. Digital evidence can play a major role in modern criminal cases. Message, photographs, videos, call record, and other electronic information can sometimes help establish communication between individuals. But the reliability of such evidence can also be challenged. Questions may arise about who controlled the device, how the information was collected, whether the data were changed, and whether proper procedures were followed. These are among the concerns raised by Gadwi Lam defense. Gadwi Lam also challenged a digital forensic report prepared by an expert from South Africa. He asked the court not to accept the report as reliable evidence. According to his defense, the report had problems involving technical reliability, authenticity, and legal admissibility. Gadwi Lam argued that the report contained inconsistencies. He also said there was no independent evidence supporting the claim that the digital material connected to him to the alleged crime. This does not automatically mean the court will reject the evidence. The judge will have to consider the argument from both sides. The prosecution may defend the method used to collect and examine the digital information. The court will then decide what evidence should be accepted and how much weight should be given to it. That decision could be important for Gadwilam's individual case. Gadwilam Poch, who is 68 years old, completed his defense statement on Wednesday. The court is expected to continue examining his submission on Friday, July 17, 2026. Presiding Judge Ms. Alala Deng adjourned the proceeding until that date. The judges are expected to question Gadwilam about the argument he presented in his defense. For now, no final decision has been announced on his request to dismiss the charges. The case therefore continues. The wider case involves several senior political and military figures. The defendants include suspended first Vice President Dr. Machar, Honorable Potkang Chul, Mampaldo, Lieutenant General Gabriel Doblam, Camilo Gadmai, Kel, Mading Yakrik, and Dominic Gadgokrik, and Gadwilam Poch. Dr. Machar remains under house arrest. The other defendants are reportedly being held by the National Security Service. The charges are connected to the violence that took place in Nasser in Upper Nile State in March 2025. Prosecutors allege that force connected to the Sudan People Liberation Army in opposition, which is SPLIO, together with the members of the Nuerwai Army, attacked an SSPDF military position in Nasser. According to the prosecution case, 257 soldiers were killed. Among those reportedly killed was SSPDF commander David Majudak. Prosecutor also alleged that military equipment was approximately 50 million United States dollars was destroyed or taken during the attack. These are serious allegations. However, it is important to remember that allegations presented by prosecutors must still be tested through the legal process. The defendants have the right to challenge the evidence against them and present their own defense. The court must then decide the case based on the law and the evidence accepted during the trial. Well, the argument over Gadwilam phone may appear technical, but it raises a much larger question. How should court handle digital evidence in politically sensitive criminal cases? Today, mobile phones contain large amount of personal information. They may contain private conversation, photographs, videos, documents, and record of communication. Because of this, a phone can become an important source of evidence, but digital evidence must be handled carefully. If a phone moves through different hands, the defense may question whether the information remained unchanged. If a password is obtained under disputed circumstances, question may also be raised about the process. Gadwilam defense is asking the court to consider these issues. The prosecution, on the other hand, is expected to rely on the evidence it has presented to support its case. The judge will have to decide which arguments are stronger. That is why the next stage of the trial will be important. Well, this is not an ordinary criminal case. The involvement of first Vice President Dr. Machar make the proceeding politically significant. Dr. Machar has been one of the most important political figures in South Sudan for many years. He has served as the first Vice President and has also been a central figure in the country peace process. Because of this, development in the case are being closely followed by supporters, critics, political leaders, and ordinary citizens. Some people see the proceeding mainly as a legal matter. Others view them through the country-wide political struggle. This is why transparency and fairness are especially important. The court will need to demonstrate that decisions are based on evidence and law. At the same time, all defendants must be given a meaningful opportunity to defend themselves. The prosecution also has the responsibility to present its case. Ultimately, the judge must decide for the public patient is important. A quorum is not a social media platform. Legal question cannot be decided simply by political supporter or opposition. Well, evidence must be examined, witnesses may be questioned, document must be considered, argument from both sides must be heard. Only then can the court reach its decision. While the legal case continued in Juba, another major development was reported in Jonglei State. And this brings us to our second main story. Well, if you want to listen to the next report, please join us on the next report. Thank you for watching and bye-bye.